Hi, I'm Roy. I'm going to present a paper called "The Team Competition in Online Microfinance, a Field Experiment on Kiva." My co-authors for this are Chen, Yang Liu, and Chen, who are all at the University of Michigan School of Information. Okay, so Kiva.org. This was a website that was founded in 2005. It's the world's first peer-to-peer microfinance website. Okay, so people who want to use Kiva can go on to the website and they can look at a list of borrowers that they would like to lend to, choose one, and make a loan to that lender. Okay, and then eventually they'll get repaid. Okay. So Kiva, the loans on Kiva are zero interest loans. Okay, so in a sense, this is charitable giving. The minimum amount that you have to lend on Kiva is $25. Okay, and we'll use that amount in some of our analysis. The lenders can lend to entrepreneurs in 69 different developing countries. And here are some statistics about Kiva that I just pulled off the website yesterday. So there are about 1.5 million users, 1 million of whom have actually loaned something. A total of about $483 million have been loaned. The average loan size is about $409. There have been over 1 million borrowers that have used Kiva, and the repayment rate is about 99%. Okay. All right, so Kiva, since its inception, has grown tremendously. Okay, so when it started, it was a small website, but now, due to various factors, it has now grown a lot. So if, the black line here shows the number of loans per month that have been made, and the dashed line shows the total number of lenders that are on the site. Okay. One problem that Kiva has encountered is that there are quite a few people who make very few to one or very few loans, and very few people who make a lot of loans. Okay, so very few people come back to the site and loan again. Okay, so this plot actually shows a log of the number of loans versus the log of the number of lenders who actually have made that many loans. Okay, and this shows that there's a power law relationship between those two things. Okay, so very few people. So in the upper left, those are the people who have made very few loans, and that's a lot of people. Okay, and these people here, very few of them have come back and made many loans. So you can think of these people who have made many loans as the core Kiva users, and they come back and they reloan again. Now you can think of the people who make very few loans on Kiva as sort of peripheral lenders. And you can sort of characterize one of the goals of Kiva as trying to bring these peripheral users into the core. Okay. One way that Kiva has tried to do this is to create a system of lending teams. Okay. So lending teams is a system whereby these lenders can join teams of other lenders. Now, this system was created in 2008. A lender can create or join any number of teams that have been created on Kiva. If you create a team, then you become the team's captain. This whole system sort of lies on top of the regular Kiva lending system. And what I mean by that is that when everyone can still make loans in the normal way. They choose someone to make a loan to, and they make that loan, and they expect to be repaid. The difference here is that now with these teams, if you join any number of teams, you will see a prompt that says, I would like to assign the credit for this loan to this team. Okay? And you can choose any one of your teams to assign the credit for a loan to. And this credit is sort of summed up for a team, and the teams are displayed on a leaderboard based on the total lending for that team over its history. Okay, and one of the things that these teams adds to the experience for Kiva lenders is that each team has a separate forum where the team lenders can talk to each other, and no other team can see what that forum has. Okay. Now there are now over 26,000 lending teams on Kiva, about 16,000 which have actually lent something. Okay, so why lending teams? Okay, so if you ask Premal Shah, the president of Kiva, he has said that the reason that they made these lending teams was to make Kiva as fun and compelling as possible, so that people will be engaged and come back. Okay, one of the team captains, the atheist team captain, the atheist team captain has said that the whole idea of teams in the Kiva context implies there should be competition. Okay. And so this competition story has actually worked pretty well for the atheist team. The top two teams on Kiva are the atheists and the Christians. And if you actually look at the forums for these two teams, one of the most common rallying cries for lending is to try to beat the other team. Okay.
So Roy, I assume there's no group liability except for the Christians in hereafter.
Sure.
No, seriously, there's no group liability in the team.
What do you mean by group liability?
If one person on the team, the standard microfinance group loan, if one person on the team defaults, am I liable for that?
Oh, so the team members are not the borrowers; they're the lenders. Yeah, yeah. So the borrowers, if they default, then the people who lent to that borrower won't get paid back. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So here, what we want to try to analyze is first, does joining a lending team increase lending? And we're going to run some empirical analysis on that. And then we want to look at what makes different teams effective. Okay, so some teams are effective and some teams are not. So we want to try to tease out what exactly causes some teams to be more effective than others. And we're going to run a field experiment to try to answer that question. Okay. The first question, for the empirical analysis, I'm going to touch on that very briefly, and then I'm going to focus closely on the field experiment. Okay, so first, let's look at the difference in lending between two different groups of people. Okay, so first, if we look at these triangles, that shows the people who have not joined any teams. Okay, and these circles show people who, at some point in their history, join at least one team. Okay, and you can see that the people who join at least one team do make more loans than the people who don't join any teams. Okay, but if you look at this vertical line here, which is at 2008 August, that's when the teams were created, we see that the people who join teams eventually were already lending more than the people who don't join any teams. Okay, so this indicates that there is a selection issue. So people who join teams are going to be more active on teams to begin with. Okay, so one of the main thing that we're trying to do here is we're trying to account for this selection issue. So I'm not going to go over what we actually did, the first two bullet points. If you're an economist, then you can sort of look at that and ask me about that later. But for our analysis indicates that whether you include demographic controls or not, you can see that joining a team increases lending by either 1.2 or 1.5 loans per month. Okay, and if you use the $25 minimum that loan that Kiva has, then that's at least $30 a month, or at least $38 a month. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to move on to the field experiment. Okay, so for the field experiment, what we do is we randomly select 2,000 open teams. And then we're going to only deal with teams that have at least 5 members, because we're afraid that teams with fewer members are going to be very closely knit for family teams, and for what we want to do for our manipulation, we're not sure we want to deal with those. So we just deal with teams that have at least 5 members. So that leaves us with 550 teams. Okay. And we're going to randomly assign these teams into 4 treatments and 1 control, which I'll describe in the next slide. Okay. So what our manipulation is going to be is we're going to post messages into these different teams' forums. Okay. We're going to vary the message that we post to see what types of messages are more effective in increasing lending. Okay. So for the control, we don't post a forum message at all. Okay. For the 4 treatments, we break that into a 2x2 design. So in one dimension, we vary whether the message has a goal component. Okay, so whether we set a goal for the team. Okay, and this will have sort of a team competition flavor. Okay, but it's a very weak team competition flavor, which I will show you. In the other dimension, we vary whether we include a link to a specific loan in the message. Okay, and this is about reducing sort of search costs for loans that are appropriate for the team. Okay, and it's about coordination. Okay, so in the end, of the 550 teams that we actually had in our sample, 14 teams actually became closed or whatever. So in the end, we only have 536 teams. Okay, but we don't randomize between the different treatments. Okay.
So if you
Yes.
have each alone, is it just one person in the team and then to that person?
I will show you exactly what we say.
Okay.
Yeah. So give me 2 slides. Okay. So to post these messages, we actually create some new lender identities. Okay. So we just sort of randomize their names and locations, and have each of these lenders join 11 teams. Okay. And the first thing that is done is that each of these lenders actually makes a loan assigned to each of those teams. And we did tell Kiva about these experimental lenders. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's exactly what we posted. In the control, our lenders join the team, and we make a $25 loan credit to the team. Okay. In the no goal, no link treatment, we join the team and make a $25 loan, and then we make an introductory message on the form. Okay, so we say, hi, I am whoever, and I am new to the team. I just credited my first loan to the team. Okay. In the no goal link treatment, we say, we have that same introduction, hi, I am whoever, and we also include this following message, I loan to whoever from wherever, and he or she requested this loan for this reason. And here is the URL of her request. Okay? Yes?
To what extent is this sort of verged on deception, except that people don't know the people are not real?
Yeah, we were concerned about that. We did, so the 2 things that we did to try to sort of help that, I guess. We did tell Kiva about the lenders, and we actually made the loans. We asked around, and in the end we decided that this was okay, but I guess this is for others to decide in the end. Yes, it does verge on deception, I agree, but we tried to be, we tried to make it so that everything that matters to the team is sort of still done. Like they still get the credit for the loan. Okay.
Well,
Yes.
were they debriefed? And in principle, if it's deception, you have to debrief, right?
Yeah, we did not debrief them.
But that's, I mean, look at the statements of the atheists who I have affinity with, and they said, we want to do good for people. We want to have loans with good people. So their stated mission is seemingly inconsistent with the fact that, you said, well, they only care about the credit of the loan. That's not what their statement said.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know what the Christians said. I don't really care. But the point is, they probably said something, like that too. Something like that. So presumably they do care about more than just the credit.
Perhaps that's true.
Really getting to the debriefing point.
That's true. I mean, we still have these lenders. We could at some point debrief them, but we just haven't. Okay.
One other question I just had
Yes.
very briefly. When people normally join these groups, is the control typical? And how unusual is it just to get any message whatsoever?
You do see that sometimes. It's not entirely uncommon. So you do see some people just introducing themselves, and a lot of times that will be followed by, say, the captain welcoming them to the team. Yeah. Yes.
Can you talk a bit more about your conversations with Kiva? I'm just
Yes.
curious how that was communicated. Did you call them?
Okay, so once we started this project, we actually started. We presented, our sort of preliminary results on the empirical analysis, and they started. They sort of gave us more data, and we told them that we were running this experiment, and they just said, okay, that's fine with us as long as you give us a list of the lenders who you created, and that's what we did. Any other questions? All right. Okay, sorry. Okay, so for the goal no link treatment, we have the introduction, and we also include a goal for the team, which is the following. If each of us make a $25 loan in the next month, we will improve our rank. Okay. And then the goal link treatment just combines the no goal link and the goal no link messages. Okay. All right, so here's an example of a particularly successful team, I guess. Okay, so here we say, hi, I am Paul and I'm new to the team. I just credited my first loan to the team. I loaned to Sandra from Colombia. Sandra is asking for a loan of $1,400 in order to buy decorative items and aromatherapy products. Here's the URL to her request. If each of us make a $2,500 loan in the next month, we will improve our record. Okay, so this team was in the gold link treatment. Okay, so so then this was followed in the following days by various replies. Lender 1 said, "Welcome, Paul. I added $25 more to Sandra as well." And then lender 2 said, "Good call, Paul. Thanks for sending out the message. I'm in," and so on and so on and so forth. Okay. Yes.
I'm just curious if you got any negative responses, any, like, who the heck are you? type
There was
responses?
one team did that. There was one team that was a local team, and they asked, "So are you from this area? Because this team is only for people in this area." And that's part of our, we said that 14 teams were dropped. That's one of those teams.
So few.
One, yeah. Yeah, that was the one that we considered as checked out. Okay. Okay. Okay, so before I talk about the results, I want to break the teams into different types. Okay, so we consider inactive teams to be those who have not had any foreign messages a year before treatment. Okay, and then we consider all of those to be active. And then active lenders, we consider those to be lenders who have joined at least one active team, and all others are inactive. Okay, and the following results that I'm going to show you are from inactive lenders. We actually find that for active lenders, our treatments have no effect, or no significant effects. Okay, so for these inactive teams, inactive lenders, we see the following. So we treat them on day 0 here. And if you look at the control versus the treatment, you see that there is a bump up in lending from the treatment group. Okay. And this is the combined treatment effect. So this is control versus any team that got a message. Okay. If we break this into the different treatments, we see the following. Okay. So it's sort of unclear from this as to what we actually found, but here's a summary of what we found. Okay. So as I said, the effects are concentrated in teams with no foreign message in the past year. The most effective treatment were the goal and the goal link treatments. Okay, those showed significant effects. In those treatments, over a 4-day window, which is what I show here, those inactive teams make about 0.13 more loans in that 4-day window. Okay. If we stretch it out to the 30-day window, then the effect is still significant, and you see that the average 0.25 more loans in that 30-day window. Okay, so about every 4 people give 1 extra loan. So given the average team size, which is about 16.4 for these inactive teams, this is about 4 more loans per team per month. Okay, and as I said, the link treatment did not show effects that were significant at the 5% level. Actually, they weren't even significant at the 10% level, so they showed an increase of 0.07 more loans over 40 days. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's our main result, that when we show them a goal-type message, that increases lending by about 0.25 loans per month for members in those teams. Okay. Okay. And we want to note particularly the weakness of our treatments. We specifically chose messages that were very generic and very weak. Okay. So for the links, in actual active teams, when we see these type of messages, they usually include sort of 1 to 2 paragraph biographies of the borrowers. We just sort of copy and pasted the basic biographies that Akiva provides. And we also do not specifically ask people to lend. Okay. In the gold treatment, so in the active teams, the goals are much more specific to the teams, and they play up this competition aspect. So this is an example from the Nerd Fighters team. Guys, we've beat both the Troll Tech Foundation and the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster in the past weeks. We're now number 17 on the most lended list, next up India. Okay, so ours was much more bland than this, and we just said, let's all try to land $25 this month to improve our ranking. Okay, and that actually, we think that for the active teams, that actually, the naturally occurring links and goal messages overshadow our very neutral messages. Okay, and I'm being told to stop, so I will stop there. Okay.
We have time for one question while our next speaker is getting ready.
Thank you.